Hi, I'm Tim Burke and I'm the director of Chorus of Royal Northern Sinfonia now, but I'm with Alan Fearon, who was the founding director of the chorus then. And so we're going to have a chat about the history of the chorus and all sorts of things, which I'm very excited about because I've got loads of genuine questions that I'd love answered. And so it's great to have you back,
Very
Alan.
nice to be here, thank you.
And we're celebrating, of course, the 50th anniversary of the chorus this year. So 50 years ago, well, probably more than 50 years ago, something happened involving you, and then suddenly there was a chorus. So
yes, you make it sound so easy. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But in fact, what happened was that I was playing with the orchestra as timpanist.
Right, because you're timpanist, yeah.
I wasn't the official timpanist because they didn't have anybody on contract then, but I used to come in as a freelance, but
right.
Because I was in Durham at the time, that was quite easy. And the then general manager of the orchestra, marvellous guy called Keith Statham,
okay.
He said after a rehearsal, we were in the what was then called the University Theatre,
yeah.
In the Haymarket.
Right, and that's now Northern Stage.
That's now Northern
okay,
Stage, yeah. And needless to say, so many musical things, you know, this happened in the bar. He said to me, come and have a drink, I want to have a chat with you. And he said, I want to form a chorus. And
right.
I sort of said, really?
Why did he ask you?
Well, that's what I said. Yes. And he said he knew that I'd been at Durham University, had studied music, been involved in opera at the university.
Right. As a timpanist?
And
or had you been conducting?
And repetiteur, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
As a sort of side issue, you know. And he said, well, you know, you're playing with the orchestra, you know singers, you've worked with singers before,
yeah.
So why don't you do it? You know, and I was saying, well, you know, it's a bit of a risk, isn't it? And he said to me, famously, I've told this story so many times, he said, well, don't worry, if you're no good, we'll give you the sack.
Okay, well, fair enough. Which actually didn't happen because you...
Amazingly, sometimes I'm amazed that it didn't happen, actually, especially in the first few years, because, of course, it was a very new thing. That was the first chamber orchestra, chamber chorus associated with a chamber orchestra.
Right. And was it a chamber chorus? Was that the idea behind it at the beginning?
Yeah, what we wanted to have was 40 singers.
Right.
So we auditioned something like 200.
Wow, okay.
And we chose 40. Then there was the terrible day when we had to decide what day we were going to rehearse. And I was thinking any
right.
day but Sunday, you know. So guess what? 39 of them chose Sunday.
Okay.
So there was me and somebody else was decided that they didn't like Sunday. And Keith said, I'm sorry, 39 versus 2, that's it.
So it was you and one member?
Yeah, that's right.
What day did you want?
I wanted a Monday.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it became Sunday, and we found a place to rehearse in a church hall. This is before the Sinfonia Centre. People listening and watching might remember the Sinfonia Centre in Jesmond Vale.
Yeah.
This before then.
So where was this?
So it was in Jesmond, in the Methodist Church Hall in Jesmond. It's no longer there.
Right, okay.
And
yeah.
Sinfonia
so
Sinfonia Centre is hardly there.
Trail.
No, well you can. The church is built. No, I don't think it's there at all.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Right.
But there should be a blue plaque, shouldn't
I know,
there?
I was thinking there should be like a bus tour that goes around the
right.
locations, but that one's not there, okay.
But then he said, this was in April of 73, I think, we started rehearsing.
Right.
And I thought, well, this is great because September, that's when the first concert is with the orchestra. We've got loads of time. Keith said, oh no, we need to do something before then.
Right.
I've got the BBC to record the chorus in, well, was it July or something?
You say did you just ring them up?
And Keith was that sort of person, you know.
Right.
He would ring BBC.
Oh, I see, that was what he was saying.
Keith rang up Manchester and said, we've got this new chorus, do you fancy coming and recording them?
Amazing. So the first thing, because I was looking through, we've got an old spreadsheet with all of the chorus's concerts up to, I think, now, from the beginning. And I was looking at that and thinking, well, it looks like the first thing pretty much was a broadcast. Is that right?
Yes,
or was
that's
that
absolutely right.
Okay.
That's the very first thing. It was in the King's Hall.
And is this...
Amazingly, that's me.
So that's you conducting it, and I was saying earlier on that you look exactly the same.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Although maybe your shirt's a bit like a bit more flamboyant.
That's a bit. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I think. Well, that's the 70s, isn't it? That's a 70s shirt.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think my wife will tell you I probably still wear 70s shirts. But anyway, that finger is well known to members of the chorus as well. Yeah, that's.
What does that mean?
The tenors usually think it means you're flat.
Okay.
And so whenever the tenors in the orchestra look at that picture, they
I should start using the finger. And what does everyone else think it means?
They probably think it means keep quiet.
Okay, so it's got a double meaning, quite useful.
Yeah, depending on whether you're a tenor or a soprano, because the sopranos make the most noise, don't they? Because then I'm getting into trouble now. But
yeah, this is troubled waters. So let's move on. So we've got here a festival program from 1974. So this is maybe the earliest program we've got here on the table today. So what's this? This is Christopher Seaman.
Yeah, that's the second season. Christopher actually conducted the very first concert of the orchestra.
Right.
We did Zadok the Priest and the Nelson Mass.
Okay, right, yes, I knew it was Nelson Mass.
And he was the principal conductor of the orchestra at the time.
Okay.
And so he did the first concert, and he was marvellous, just the right person to do that.
Yeah.
Because such a nice chap, but very good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always follow those two things, But and so it was very, very successful, and of course the chorus loved him.
Yeah, okay.
He's a lovable chap as well. So
that must have really helped galvanise.
Oh yes, it was
the group and make it feel like this was a real thing.
Yeah, because it was obviously we'd done the BBC broadcast, and we did an unaccompanied concert in Teesside as a sort of warmer up as well. But the concert with Zadok and the Nelson Mass, that was the real thing.
That was the beginning, yeah.
And luckily, the local critics liked it. So Keith decided to put off sacking me for a bit longer.
Well, we'll soon find out how long he held it off for. I think it's actually quite a while, isn't it? So this is, are we now in the 80s? December 82? The
very early 80s. That was just after the Sinfonia Centre was built. Again, another first. Was Sinfonia Centre the very first purpose-built rehearsal hall for any orchestra anywhere in the country.
That's
the
really
very first one.
Okay.
And so obviously we rehearsed there.
You'll be glad to know, Alan, that for the first time I'm alive in this. I mean, not in the photo, but
I was hoping you wouldn't mention anything like that.
I know.
Actually.
Well, I've been waiting for this moment, but I think I'm maybe 4 months old.
I see, right, okay.
As you swing almost into the second decade.
Yeah, quite,
yeah. That's lovely, okay, right. And then we're gonna jump jumping another 10 years, because now this is the 20th anniversary concert programme. And you did Mozart Vespers.
Yes, we were lucky in that successive general managers and also successive conductors wanted the chorus to do different things. They didn't just want them to do the usual sort of things that a chamber orchestra and a chamber choir then anyway would do. We were allowed to do unaccompanied concerts, and I was given more or less free rein. Wow. Seems amazing, but to do what sort of programs I wanted. Yeah. And so again, I was very lucky to be given that opportunity, because, well, I suppose by then I knew a little bit more about choruses and how they worked and how they fitted with the orchestra. Yeah. And of course I was playing in the orchestra at the same time.
This was one of my big questions, Alan. How did you manage to be the timpanist in the orchestra and the chorus director? Because I mean, I've got a job on my hands doing one of those two things, and I feel like it's full. You know, if it's a concert, what happens if it's, you know, Nelson Mass doesn't have quite a lot of timps in it?
It does indeed, yeah, it does. But somehow, I mean, it depends how well you get on with the conductor. And what I was able to do, I'm sure you know all this anyway, but as long as you can get in touch with the conductor, talk to the conductor about things. They make you feel fine about it and you make them feel fine about it. Then the conductor can say to me, would you mind just whipping out there and listening to the balance, because I'm not sure about this, that or the other. And also I'm very close to the chorus, so that slightly terrifies them. Because the timpani,
they're
the
right
timpani
there,
are
aren't
just
they?
there, you see. So I can just look up at the chorus, and so they knew then they couldn't hide anywhere. So there was an advantage to it.
Brilliant.
And actually, it was an advantage for me too, because it meant that it wasn't quite so stressful. I was thinking of my own part as well.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Okay.
so
you didn't have those nerves.
I didn't have just the
that you
feeling,
have sitting waiting.
I'm sitting there, no
Yeah.
way of taking part in it,
Yeah.
So it was.
I need to take up the timps.
Yes,
That's the answer.
why not?
That's
What
the
a
answer
good
to
idea,
sitting nervously in concerts.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, I think that's almost all we've got time for, and I feel like I could have this conversation for about 2 hours at least.
Yes, we can carry on later.
And, so I've got more questions for you, but sadly not during this particular slot. But thank you so much.
Not at all.
And I hope you're looking forward to the concert on Friday, where we celebrate your achievement, really. And it's amazing what you've made, and I'm loving sort of being the current curator of it, I guess.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah.
But
Well, I'm so glad you're doing it, because the chorus has a marvellous history, but it's what it does in the future, which is so important, especially now when things are quite difficult.
yeah.
And knowing that here we have this wonderful orchestra and a marvellous chorus playing in this tremendous hall, it's so optimistic.
Brilliant. Well, that seems like a brilliant note to close on. So thank you very much for watching. And we hope you really enjoy any aspect of the 50th birthday celebrations of Chorus of Royal Northern Sinfonia that you come across.